Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and as John Campea calls me, your existential Mr. Rogers. What that means, we don't know. But you know what? I'm Robert Meyer Burnett, but you're not here for me. You're here for the enchantress of effervescence, the woman of 1,000 voices, Miss Kris Carr.
It's
Kris,
me.
welcome.
Thanks, Rob. How you
It's
doing?
great to be here with you.
It's so nice to be back next to you.
I know. I feel like there's a gulf, a wide gulf between us.
I know.
A whole studio's gulf.
I know.
But you do. The camera does look better.
The
on
camera
you.
is nice over
You know,
there,
it
though.
looks nice.
Thanks.
You look nice.
Thank you. I appreciate
This
that.
is issue 17
Woo!
of the Weekly Hero. No, I don't have any favorite issue 17s of
Same.
comics. Don't know.
Same. Sorry.
Don't know.
Sorry, my dude.
But you know, it's always good to do this show when something cool like happens on the day.
Right.
And like tonight, you know, we got the college football championship game tonight.
Which I have been just already so excited about.
You know, I love the fact that when you come in every morning, you give us sports stats from the weekend. I'm always amazed at the depth of knowledge.
Thank you so much. I really try.
It's true.
There are 2 teams playing this evening, and they are collegiate.
You know, I bet when Marvel started the new universe back in the day, that Kickers Incorporated was one of your favorite.
Oh my gosh.
Comics.
Couldn't put it down.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Well, tonight, during the big game, there's going to be, I guess, the final trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. New trailer is going to drop. I mean, you know, these trailers have been a little nebulous. They haven't said a lot. They've
Yeah.
kind of, I'm wondering if we're going to get any kind of, I mean, it's only a trailer, but like with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we got to see a couple of variants of
Exactly.
and Peyton Reed has said this film, he wanted to make an Avengers level movie, not a palate cleanser. So I'm expecting big things from this movie, but they also, not only is the trailer dropping, they dropped a new poster.
Yes, and it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I mean, and I have to say, I am not a fan. Like, what did Jonathan, what'd you call it? The human pyramid posters?
Yeah.
The Marvel posters have been that, the human pyramid posters. And there's kind of a house style, which is kind of ironic when you have some of the great illustration of the world throughout the history of Marvel Comics, and yet they're movie posters.
Iconic covers that you can pull directly from.
And for the first time, I look at this poster and I'm like, huh. I would buy, like if I was collecting, I used to collect one sheets back in the day. I don't really do that anymore, but I would have loved to have had that on my bedroom wall or my college dorm room or something. I love this poster.
It's beautiful. It's really, really lovely. Was it Ray? Was it you who was saying it's very Mondo?
No, that's John.
That
I
was
said that.
Jonathan too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I love this. I think the aesthetic of this is really, really cool. And I love this tagline too that they have at the bottom of the poster, the witness the beginning of a new dynasty. Because that is teeing us up for exactly what this phase should be. It is the Kang phase. We are going to have that dynasty film. We're going to see these variants. So I think to your point, Rob, we should be seeing some of that in this trailer because we need a little bit more of the meat and potatoes of what this movie is.
I mean, all we know is
That's your typical human pyramid right there.
And it's not that this is a bad poster, but it's just, there's this modern, I mean, key art, this is called key art. It's so generic. You know, it used to be that a great piece of key art would sort of mythologize the movie that you're about to see. By looking at one image, it would capture a feeling of what you were going to see. And these modern posters, they just tell you who's in the movie. But we already know that.
Exactly.
So there's nothing dynamic, but there's something, even though this Quantum Mania image is only 3 Ant-Man, Wasp, and Ant-Man's daughter.
And all those ships.
And all the ships. I mean,
do you think that's
but it
exciting?
it gives it a feeling. And then of course, Kang presiding over it all.
Oh yeah.
So what are your hopes and dreams for Quantum Mania? Are you excited?
My hopes and dreams. There's so many. I do want to know more about what went down in the quantum realm with Janet. And I know we're not going to get too much of that because that is going to be the big reveal in the movie, right? We just know that something shifty happened while she was there. So I'm hoping we're getting a little more tease of that. I'd love to see some of those variant Avenger deaths.
I think we're gonna.
I think so, because we've already been told have I killed you before?
Yeah.
Right? So I do think it stands to reason we might see some of those moments. And I think that'd be pretty dope.
I mean, I could see this opening with a montage of Kang showing up in various universes, whacking Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, seriously killing a lot of people. What a way to open a movie.
Absolutely. And I think, too, this next trailer Because we already saw it a little bit with that last one with Goodbye Yellow Brick Road playing, but this really needs to set the kind of tone that we're getting for this version of Ant-Man.
Yes.
Because they have been the palate cleansers. They've been our sorbet, right? Where it's been, hey, I can count on Scott Lang to be a sweet, funny, heroic guy, but there's not too many huge, big world ramifications, right? It's always been our palate cleanser. This is kicking off such a big part of what's to come that I think they really need to establish that we've got to take this one a bit more seriously than the typical kind of almost rom-com-y fare we get with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Well, it's interesting. After Endgame, when Scott Lang came out of the quantum realm, it's really because of him that they were able to reverse the snap and bring
Scott and a
everyone back.
rat.
He did it, man.
Those are the Marvel Cinematic Heroes.
That's right. I mean, I think that Scott Lang is he doesn't seem like a heavy hitter because Paul Rudd's Paul Rudd, but I think he's absolutely a heavy hitter now.
Yeah.
And this movie is going to catapult him to the top. I mean, I wouldn't say he's necessarily a core Avenger, but he could be. People ask, like, I could see Scott Lang leading the Avengers. Maybe not like Captain America leads the Avengers, but in a way that could be more of an everyman leadership role that he would have to step up and fill.
I think he's someone who you could rally behind.
So you're excited in general?
Oh, thrilled.
I am too.
Yeah?
You know what else is thrilling?
What?
We are getting what could be one of the most exciting TV shows of the year. HBO's adaptation that Craig Mazin and Druckmann are bringing us of The Last of Us, the creator of the game and the creator of Chernobyl, coming up, or as I know him, the man who wrote the tagline "Danger Runs Deep" for Crimson Tide back in the 90s. That was Craig Mazin too.
Deep cut.
Also director of the specials. So I thought Chernobyl was outstanding.
Oh, it's incredible. A viewer talked about it today, though, in our member chats of, I watched it once and I will never revisit it. And absolutely, why would you rewatch that show? It's so intense. It's so heartbreaking, but it's beautifully done.
Yeah, I wanted radiation decon after I watched
Oh my
that
gosh,
show.
yeah.
It was just heartbreaking and hardcore. Well, it turns out that you must know this person, one of the great voiceover, one of the busiest men in voiceover, Troy Baker.
Oh my gosh, Troy Baker, who's astounding, who's such a magnificent talent. He was the OG voice of Joel, right? He's the one who provided us with his dulcet tones and that little bit of twang. And he is not only appearing in the live action version of Last of Us, he's playing James. He's part of David's crew, so he's part of that group of cannibals. Very exciting. But he is also going to be doing HBO's official Last of Us podcast.
With Druckmann and Mazin. So this is pretty damn exciting. I mean,
hell yeah.
you know, I these after shows that are coming on the heels of these big genre programs, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And having the creators, I hope they do some real deep dives because look, not to disparage anybody, but there are certain after shows that seem a little bit lightweight, depending on how the host attacks the subject matter. And I'm hoping with these guys, we're gonna really delve into the meat and potatoes of how the show was made, why the choices were made. And I expect it to be pretty elevated in terms of its content. So I'm excited about this. How about you?
So excited. Because, well, you know, we're going to do an after show of this. And so what we'll need to do is dissect the show from a viewer standpoint and you know, be as unbiased as we can be, but try to just be honest about how we feel about it. These guys are going to be able to let us know the behind the scenes. And what I think so exciting about having Troy on board is not only will he have that perspective of what it was going from video game to screen, you know, going from mocap to traditional live action acting, but then also being able to talk to us about, you know, his experience on set, him watching how this is going forward with these new actors. Ashley Johnson is also playing a role in this, and she, of course, was in the game too, playing Ellie. So I think it's a really fun, layered look at this by having somebody who's so intrinsically tied to this IP and has done so many different things with it, to have them be kind of our in-person, our inside man, if you will, on how this is all moving forward. I think it's gonna be a really cool, like, behind the scenes kind of actors look at everything.
I agree. And I have to say that, I mean, I'm kind of all in on this show. I'm expecting A-list, the best of the best.
You know, it's HBO. It is the video game that, in my opinion, turned it around where people went, oh, yeah, this is cinema.
Right.
This is such intricate, amazing, heartbreaking storytelling. And it's with actors who are top notch. You know, Pedro Pascal is incredible. He's such a good actor.
Absolutely. And they've got the collapse of civilization looks like it's portrayed no expense was spared.
No,
on
a
the
nice
making
mix
of
of
this show.
practical and CGI. We love a realistic clicker.
A realistic clicker, man. And it looks like, I mean, they've only shown them to us fleetingly, but it looks like they nailed those things.
Oh yeah, I anticipate people will watch this show, and the same way I felt playing the game, I will not trust mushrooms now. Like cordyceps, get the hell out of here. You're not getting me. You're not turning me into a zombie. You friggin' fungi.
Now let me ask you
Hot
this:
take.
if The Last of Us is as good as we think it's going to be, or as good as we hope it's going to be, do you think this opens the door for other adaptations? And if you could have one video game adaptation done given it the HBO treatment with these kinds of creators, what would you like to see turned into a video game? I mean, what adaptation would you
What
like
I want
to see?
Well, we obviously have a lot of this happening because of Sony PlayStation opening up their studio.
Right, and we know we're getting God of War.
That's going to happen. I'd love to see a really beautifully done Zelda. I think that would be really, really great. Just kind of a Game of Thrones level Zelda, because there's a lot of room to groove there. I think that'd be really, really fun. Honestly, It Takes Two. I think would be a
they're
really
doing
fun.
something.
Are they?
Yeah,
okay.
I think they're going to do It Takes Two. I mean,
That'd be adorable.
One of the Final Fantasy games I think would lend itself well to a series,
Absolutely.
a live action series. I mean, it'd be hella expensive, but I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I mean, the movie was not really any. It was a weird offshoot of the games. It didn't delve into any of the storylines from the games.
Oh, the one back in the day where we were like, this is going to replace all live action actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Spirits Within.
Yes, there we go.
So
not so much.
Which I didn't hate.
No.
It just was how is this connected
Yeah.
to which
Advent Children was pretty well done. That was a good one.
I like that.
But I think you're right. I think there's a lot to mine in there that you could do a really cool live action story.
Just
with.
because I mean the different games, I think there's stuff that can be done.
Yeah.
We'll see. But we're getting Last of Us. I think what is it, Sunday night or something? Maybe
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday night. This
Yeah.
Sunday.
I can't believe it. It snuck up.
I know.
Sunday.
Clicker, it snuck up.
Just like the clickers.
Just like, it's going to be interesting to hear how they sound. Are they going to like give them a little bit more resonance on TV? They're going to change the sound, or are they going to keep it exactly the same?
I in the trailer you catch a glimpse of it and you hear the sound. It's identical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think they'll stick to it and not get too because I was worried for a minute they might get a little more Demogorgon, right?
Yeah.
Because the Stranger Things creatures are kind of
Yeah, a
clicker
little bit.
Yeah, they are.
adjacent, but that's more of a primal roar, and it's more, I don't know, like big cat. Yeah. We get into raptor territory of just.
Well, that brings us to more television. Our friend Greg Berlanti, the architect, him and his merry band of cutthroats, brigands, whatever you want to call them, they created the Arrowverse
Yes.
over at our friend CW. And the Arrowverse, because we know that James Gunn and Peter Safran are now have taken over the DC universe. So the Arrowverse is sort of coming to an end. As a matter of fact, we have Arrow himself teaming up once again with The Flash in the final season of The Flash.
I'm so confused by.
We'll see how that's going to go. They've been slowly, and I thought the Arrowverse had a good run.
It did. I mean, however you feel about how it was executed, ultimately, they did some really cool stuff, and you can't deny that it was wildly popular.
No, it was wildly popular. I mean, it got a little tiresome after a while because it all kind of felt the same, but I did like what they did with Superman and Lois. They're continuing on with that, but we heard today that Greg Berlanti has a new deal in place.
Yes, he's getting a 4-year exclusive.
That's incredible.
Very, very exciting.
And
for him.
especially with all the cutbacks at Warner Brothers, Warner Discovery, to get this kind of a deal is a big vote of confidence. I mean, everybody I've talked to, that I know people that have worked for Berlanti, they like working there. Sometimes people say he's worn thin over the course of, or what is it called when you're stretched too thin because he's doing so much work. But he's got he has great people, great teams of people. And I think it obviously makes sense. He's an incredible creator. He puts together great creative teams. And it makes sense that Warner Brothers has this kind of deal. But I don't think he's going to, he was going to do a Green Lantern series. I don't think that's going to ever happen.
I don't think so.
Do you think he's going to stick with superheroes? Is he going to do something new? Because I think by this time, wouldn't he want to branch out?
I would think so. Well, and we do need to note, too, he still is under a 2-year features deal with Netflix. So I think he is going to kind of see what else is out there for him and in terms of storytelling and in terms of IP, because I think he's done probably most of what he wanted to do with the Arrowverse. Had a almost decade-long run, right? I mean, it's a long time to be living in the DC world. But what I really love is, for the past 5 years, Berlanti's been very, very adamant about how much he enjoys working with Warner Brothers as a partner. And so it's really great to see that despite this shakeup, despite his own shows, being ended, canceled, written off, however you want to say it, it's still great that they still have such a wonderful working relationship. And I think this is a really important example for us as fans to take note of, because I think we all kind of make it personal a lot of times, right? Of, man, these bridges that Zaslav's burning with all of his creators, or not having this actor in, not having that actor in. It's business. It's business at the end of the day. And it's business that is ultimately trying to give us, the viewers and the fans, the best shows possible. Because if something's run into the ground and run its course, we're not going to tune in. We don't want to hate watch everything.
That's absolutely right. I mean, people forget it ain't show friends, it's show business. I say that all the time. And the thing is, nobody wants to make anything bad.
Exactly.
Nobody even sets out, everybody within the business is trying to make the best thing they can make with the money they have, with the resources that are available to them. Nobody sets out to make something that's substandard. And they want to please their audience.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking to do. And I think sometimes creators who might not understand the properties that they're involved with sometimes, or they'll even say, I was never a fan of this. But they take it because it's a very lucrative job, or it could turn into that.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't begrudge anybody who's trying to make money in the business. And if they get the opportunities to do so, they should take those opportunities. But now we as fans, we have a voice. We can respond on social media or whatever. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, I'm a supporter of creators first and foremost. I wait until they've fallen down on their faces, and then I bitch and moan and complain on the internet.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
like
the way that's the way I like to do it. That's the way I like to do it.
I think we can expect him to dive maybe more into that kind of thriller suspense territory, because he's had such success with you.
Yeah, well,
so
speaking of that, did you see the trailer for season 4?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm so excited.
I'm in. Oh. I was, because I saw the first season, I watched some of the second season, but I enjoyed it. But this 4th season, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have to watch that.
I'm really excited.
I'm pretty excited. The trailer, I watched it this morning before I drove into work, and I was like, okay, that trailer, it did what a good trailer does. I'm in.
Awesome.
I'm in. So Greg Berlanti makes some great thrillers. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And that's You is on Netflix. So that's very exciting.
It is.
You know what else is exciting?
Our issue.
Our issue. But we're not going to get to our issue until we hear from our sponsor today.
We want to thank one of the sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. Guys, you ever hear of data brokers? They're the middlemen collecting and selling all those digital footprints you leave online. They can stitch together detailed profiles which include your browsing history, online searches, and location data. They then sell your profile off to a company who delivers you a targeted ad. No biggie, right? Well, you might be surprised to learn that these same data brokers are also selling your information to government agencies like the Department of Homeland Security and the IRS. And you don't want the tax man showing up your door because of some search you did on your phone. So mask your digital footprints and protect yourself with ExpressVPN. One of the easiest ways for brokers to aggregate data and tie it back to you is through your device's unique IP address, which also reveals information about your location. When you're connected to ExpressVPN, your IP address is hidden. That makes it much more difficult for data brokers to identify who you are. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of network traffic to keep your data safe from hackers on public Wi-Fi. So make sure your online activity and data is protected with the best VPN money can buy. Visit expressvpn.com/Campea right now and get 3 extra months free through my special link. That's expressvpn.com/Campea.
And a very special thanks to ExpressVPN for letting us clandestinely surf the web and for sponsoring this issue of the Weekly Hero.
Well done.
Did you like that?
What a slick little review for VPN there.
I'm telling you. It's always good to have a
Hire
VPN.
this guy.
I know, right? Well, Kris, now, this issue that we're going to talk about, actually, it's a series of issues, but put together, it's one story about somebody who has lots of issues.
So many issues.
So many issues, so many emotional issues. I really love this storyline, and I thought that they would delve into it more in The Mouth of Madness, or In the Mouth of Madness, that's a John Carpenter movie, in the Multiverse of Madness than they did But this is, I think, a pivotal.
Your segue back in was too good.
I know, that's what it was. It's a pivotal storyline in the life of Wanda Maximoff.
Yes.
And that's, of course, Avengers Disassembled. You know, I have this hardcover, the collected hardcover, and I've read it like 4 or 5 times, and I was really excited. I was talking about it on this show on the John Campea Show for like months, thinking they were going to delve into this, because in this storyline, basically Wanda, who's been driven crazy by chaos magic, but Doctor Strange later sets it straight that there is no chaos magic. You know, Wanda has conjured up her children, and she's gone nuts. She's completely around the bend, crazy, and she attacks the Avengers. There's death involved. Mm-hmm. There's, like Depeche Mode said, death is everywhere. There are flies on the windscreen.
Well, we open basically with a major death. Like, spoiler, I guess. I don't know. It happened so early on. Scott Lang is immediately murdered.
Just
straight up murdered.
Yeah, and it's a pretty intriguing storyline, and you know, the Avengers keep getting attacked. They don't know really what's going on, and they're basically getting decimated. Mm-hmm. Attack after attack after attack, and we don't really know what's going on. And it's a really intriguing storyline, and I think the interplay with the Avengers themselves is great. But it isn't until Doctor Strange shows up like halfway through and explains what's going on, and he's the voice of reason going, no, this is exactly what's happening, and people can't really believe it. Mm-hmm. And I love this storyline, and look, there's the Sentry.
Yay!
And so, no, that's not Sentry, that's Miss Marvel.
There we go.
I thought it was Sentry.
I was gonna say I saw Blonde.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was looking at Moon Knight going, oh. But like all of the Avengers are, including Moon Knight, are involved in this storyline, and it's terrifying, and it really makes you realize. I mean, if memory serves, then it led into House of M, because Wanda changed.
I think so, because this is 2004 to 5.
Yes,
and then we dive into that.
Yes, and so it tees up something that the ramifications ripple out through the Marvel universe for a long time to come.
It also helps open up a little bit towards Young Avengers because of the absence of Scott, Cassie having to step up and everything.
Yes.
And really, if this is one you haven't read, I mean, it's a pantheon of who's who as far as writers goes, too, because you have Brian Michael Bendis, you have Mark Waid, you have Robert Kirkman working on these. I mean, it's really well done. And the art throughout it as well is just bananas.
Yeah,
Some of the imagery with Vision, too, is just horrifying. Of just like his skin melting off.
Oh no, it's great, and I really, it's when Doctor Strange does show up in this, and when he says that it's really shocking. You're like, what do you mean there's no, and then it's also so sad. The end of the comic is sad because there's the moment where Avengers Mansion, people have died, and then all the Avengers kind of walk out, and there's the vigil. Where that happens when all the people come. We still support the Avengers and all that, and I love that. I thought it was fantastic.
This toast to everyone who they lose, is
No, it's an amazing comic, and it is collected, and I can't recommend it highly enough. It's so good.
It's really, really great. We talk about this a lot with Marvel properties, and obviously no one's perma-dead within the comic universe. Everyone always kind of respawns, but this is a story that has such real consequences and such loss and heartbreak.
Yes.
That it's just a really, really fantastic literary read because there's real stakes.
And also the thing is, I have always noticed when I've gone back and reread this, even if you haven't been reading Avengers, you can pick this up and infer, you can understand. You're not going to be lost. Yeah. You know, you'll get it, and you can, if you have a cursory knowledge of the Marvel comic universe, you'll understand where it's coming from and where it's going. Mm-hmm. And as again, I wished in Multiverse of Madness they leaned more heavily into Wanda's story from Avengers Disassembled. I mean, I understand why they didn't do it. They only adapt things. Yeah. And sometimes I want to get more out of it than we get, but it's a terrific comic, and anybody who wants to pick it up, you're going to talk about someone who has issues. This really delves into just how around the bend crazy Wanda Maximoff can be.
Yeah, this one has a lot of issues. And as always, we recommend you go to an actual comic shop to go get these. Go to a brick and mortar. We want to keep them alive. So get those comics in your hot little hands. Physically have them. Don't
And
just
whether you're going to
download
get
them.
the individual issues or get the hardcover omnibus or whatever, this is highly recommended. Or read it digitally, but go to your local comic store.
Yeah, have a fun conversation with like-minded comic book nerds.
That's right. And you know what? Comic book stores these days they're getting more and more upscale.
Yeah.
When I first went into comic book stores when I was a wee lad, they were kind of like, it was still kind of grungy, and they've gone, pop culture has gone way upscale. So go to your local comic store. They've got lots of cool stuff in there now. And I really do. We have one locally, a shop called Quest that I love, and it's great. But that brings me to, you know what else is great?
What?
6-scale action figures.
Yeah, they are.
And this one is near and dear to my heart. Last year, 2022, saw the release of Star Trek, the motion picture, the director's edition in 4K. The original was done by a team with director Robert Wise before he passed away. And they restored Star Trek, the motion picture, as people used to call it, the slow motion picture. Star Trek, the slow motion picture. It's my favorite Star Trek movie, but I understand why people, it's not the best, but it's my favorite. But to see it restored to grand luster in 4K for the first time, they were able to go back and fix some more things. But one of the things in it that I've always loved is Spock in this movie. Spock he's not happy. I mean, it seems funny because he's a Vulcan and he doesn't feel emotion, but in this, he's failed. Spock has failed at the beginning of Star Trek: The Motion Picture to achieve a state of kolinar. And kolinar is when you purge any remaining emotion. And he's been working with these Vulcan masters, and he fails. And when he shows up on the Enterprise for the first time, he is wearing these very cool Vulcan robes. And the good folks at Exo-6 decided to make that Spock figure, and they only released it. It was only available for like an hour, and it sold out. So you have to get it. This was a figure. We ordered it back in November. It showed up before Christmas. It's the latest figure I've had in my collection, and here's what it looks like.
Hey everybody, I am here with the Rock Bobster. Rob, what do you have for us today?
Okay, this is a very special figure to me. This is the second that I've shown from a company called Exo-6. They specialize in doing museum quality Star Trek figures. That's all they make. Now, to sort of celebrate the release of the director's edition of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, they created so far 2 figures, hopefully 3, but so far 2, from Star Trek: The Motion Pictures. This is the second one they put out. It's Leonard Nimoy. They call him Kolinar Spock. But really, this is Leonard Nimoy as Spock from Star Trek: The Motion Picture in his traditional Vulcan robes that he arrives back on the Enterprise with. And there's been a long history of Star Trek action figures, many of which were not great. And to get a 6-scale figure of Spock in these particular robes, now it's called the Kolinar Spock, but Kolinar was the discipline that he was undergoing on Vulcan at the beginning of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. So these really aren't his Kolinar robes, but they're the robes he was wearing when he left Vulcan to arrive aboard the Enterprise. They've never made a 6-scale figure of this before. But, I mean, these Exo-6 figures, I mean, the head sculpt is incredible. I really love what Exo-6 is doing with the Star Trek license. And this figure is, you basically had to order it on day one when it went up for shipping, right from Exo-6. These sold out literally in minutes. And this Spock figure is now selling for $400 to $500 on the secondary market. And I got this figure a week ago. So it's a great figure. I love what Exo-6 is doing with the Star Trek license. They're maybe my favorite, between this and Polar License Round 2, what they've done with the model kits, might be my favorite Star Trek licensee of all time. Shout out to everybody at Exo-6 for doing these figures because they are amazing. And they truly are amazing. I know they're not Hot Toys figures, but you know what? It's not a day if I can't slip a Star Trek reference in somewhere, right? Well, and that brings us to the part. She's just nodding in agreement. That brings us to the part of the show that we love the most because we get to talk to you. you imagination connoisseurs, you members, well, maybe if you're members, you should join up because then you could send us chats. But we can do super chats now. Let's see who's out there. What do they want to
Starting
know?
with Al, let me bump him up here.
Oh, okay, from Al Renshaw. Central Intelligence sequel or Hobbs and Shaw sequel? Hobbs and Shaw.
I'd go for Hobbs and Shaw.
I liked it.
Come on, Hobbs and Shaw. Central
fun.
Intelligence was fun, but give me a Hobbs and Shaw sequel. Yeah,
I love Statham.
I do too.
Put him in everything.
Absolutely.
Al Renshaw again. Over under 40%. We got a new Flash trailer before the end of the month, and it has a focus on Batman. Showcasing Keaton would generate excitement. Yeah.
Sure. No, I think we probably will get
Over.
a Flash trailer. I think over. I may, if we don't get it by the end of the month, I think certainly by Quantumania, because that's the biggest superhero movie that's coming out, obviously before Guardians.
Ooh, wait though. The Super Bowl is February 12th. So would they drop it this
Probably-
month or
no,
just wait?
they probably do it
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Okay. So then
Yeah.
under.
Yeah,
Are you proud of me for knowing when the Super Bowl is?
Yes, I can't even believe that.
It's because I usually host a party. I make so many snacks and I don't watch it.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see something good come out of that.
Yeah.
No, that's probably a good bet that there's going to be a Flash trailer at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
imagine.
there for trailers and Rihanna.
That's right.
From Raymond Barada. When asked by Yahoo's Kevin Powley if Pedro Pascal has recruited Nick Cage and if he's down to do the Star Wars franchise, Cage said, "No, I'm a Trekkie. I'm on the Enterprise. That's where I roll."
And that's why we love Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I mean, I saw that he said that. I saw that interview. God bless you, sir. He knows what's up.
Well done, Nick. From Adam B. Been a John Campea and Friends fan for years. Keep up the awesome work and loving Weekly Hero. Oh, thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. I'm glad you've been a fan of John Campea for years. I've been. Do you know that 2023, April of 2023, will mark 8 years since I started streaming with John?
Whoa.
8 years. I
gosh.
first started in 2015 with John Schnepp and John Campea on the Weekly Hero, issue 6 or episode 6 of the AMC's Weekly Hero back then. Yeah.
For your 8-year anniversary, you're supposed to get them bronze or pottery.
Okay.
Just so you know.
I have to get John pottery.
No, he should get you something.
Pottery. Okay.
Yeah. He should woo
I'll
you.
get John pottery.
He should wine and dine you.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's 10? Because that's me.
Oh, 10-year anniversary? Let's see. Your 10-year anniversary gift, tin or aluminum?
Okay, I'll get him a Coke can.
Yeah, you can get him some Zevia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
From Mod Awesome, just sending support. Love y'all. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, but awesome. That's very nice.
That's very sweet.
Long-time viewer. Always good to hear from people.
A Marcellus, a big shout out and RIP to the late Dwayne McDuffie. I feel after his death in 2011, the DC animated films took a big dip in quality over the years. Not horrible by any means, but not the same either.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Dwayne McDuffie, you cannot downplay his importance to DC, not just to animation. He was the founder of the Milestone universe. His widow, Charlotte Fullerton, carries on his memory. There's a Dwayne McDuffie Foundation that does a lot of great work. I would look into that. Huge fan of Dwayne. I actually got to meet Dwayne a couple of times through Charlotte, and he was a big guy. He was huge, very tall man, but such a sweetheart, such a nice guy, and my God, an encyclopedic knowledge of comics.
That's amazing. I mostly am just familiar with him because of Static Shock.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
ugh,
That was part of the
loved that,
Milestone launch of comics and Icon, and he is missed. He is missed. But I agree. I mean, I think that he was such an integral part to DC's animation. I mean, he wrote so many great episodes of so many shows and the movies that Warner Brothers was doing. So, I just think because there aren't a lot of people that know as much as he does know and understood those characters, but he is missed.
Yeah. From Raymond Verrata, former Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia was sworn in at Congress. He took his oath on the Constitution, his citizenship certificate, a photo of his parents, and the Library of Congress copy of Superman #1.
Is that true? Must be
I don't
true.
know, that's amazing.
That's amazing. The Library of Congress copy of Superman #1. That, you know what? I like that guy more than ever. I didn't know he did that. Kudos to him. That's so cool. I love the fact that he could get away with that. Yes, I'd like to be sworn in with that copy of Superman #1. I'd love to do that.
I think he did it because he had learned English by reading comics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then
that's
the
amazing.
Superman #1 kind of represents America and everything. So,
Truth, justice, and the American way.
so there you
Love
go.
that.
That's great. From A. Marcellus, All-Star Superman is one of my favorite Superman comics, and the animated movie is my favorite Superman animated film. It's one of the best feel-good, inspirational Superman stories.
Oh no, it's great.
It is.
It really
It's a
is.
really good one.
That and the Superman for all seasons.
Yes, which we talked about on a previous issue.
Yes, we did. And but no, All Star Superman's so good. So good.
From Sam Fisher, have you been reading Ryan North's Fantastic Four run? He's been so inventive with their powers. Robin issue 2, Reed goes full Cronenberg, and Alex Ross covers.
Well, here's the thing.
Ooh.
I don't buy individual issues anymore. And if I hear a run is good, I wait and buy the omnibus.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big hardcore. I mean, when I say hardcore, I mean hardcore. I meant to say big hardcover guy. I love hardcover omnibuses. So, and I really like that's how I read Hickman's run of Fantastic Four was in the hardcovers. So if this is good, and all you have to do is say Reed goes full Cronenberg, you've got my interest.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like that's a sweet phrase for you.
Oh,
Just
it is.
in.
It's a totally
In.
sweet phrase for me. Thank God. I'm in.
From CJ Rebirth.
Actually,
Excuse me, Al Renshaw.
yeah.
I would love to see Bioshock, Call of Duty, Metroid, Zero Samus, or Star Fox done on HBO. Star Fox on HBO
That would be so cute.
nuts.
Would you do Star Fox like Rocket Raccoon and do a live action?
Yes. I want Jim Henson puppets. Oh, sorry, what was the rest of it?
Man, did I love Star Fox.
Oh,
That
sorry.
game. Barrel roll. Metroid and Star Fox would be hella expensive to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
They would.
But
But we'd be
even
happy.
Metroid, I mean, I would love to see those things. And I think, the thing about Star Fox is you'd have to create more mythology and for those things. But I would be so there for that. Metroid, BioShock.
Yeah.
BioShock would be
Bioshock,
Isn't
we are
it getting made?
something. Yeah.
That's going
Because
to
we
be
covered that.
Yeah, that'll be expensive though too.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oof.
I'd love them to actually respect the material and do Assassin's Creed.
That would be nice. As
Well, you'd
opposed to.
Expensive though, because you'd have so many time.
But
periods.
there's a show that should be done like Game of Thrones.
Sure.
You know, go shoot it in Dubrovnik.
Yeah.
Why not?
And every season is kind of like the game, so it's maybe it's medieval, Middle East. Maybe then it's the Renaissance. Maybe it's Pirate Age.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Be great.
Somewhere.
I'm there for that.
From CJ Rebirth, I hope the show has Ellie's magazine scene.
You know what? I would imagine that a lot of the iconic scenes from the game are going to be touched upon.
Yeah.
They might have different variations and they'll be adapted for the television audience, but I would imagine we're going to see all those things because people are going to expect that.
Oh, absolutely.
And Druckmann, that's what they have him and Mason together. They could have gotten rid of that guy. They could have said, "You did the game, we'll handle it," but
Yeah.
they didn't. No. That's why you're seeing voiceover actors from the game, wind up in the show.
I think they're going to take a very, very loving approach to this.
Totally agree.
Really, really respect it. From Jeffrey Lindenblot, something for the next show. The next show will be your issue 18. Over the years, many classic series ended with their 18th issue. What do you think was the best series that only
You ain't
lasted
getting away from
18
it.
issues?
I got an answer to this.
Oh.
I think
What do we got?
the DC's adaptation of the V miniseries, when the aliens come from the 80s.
Oh.
The V miniseries, I think, only went 18
You are
issues.
correct.
But bam!
Totals 18
Bam!
issues.
Yeah. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man.
See?
That's why we pay you the big bucks there.
There you go.
Betrayal.
Final issue. That was well done.
Ooh. I want those jumpsuits. Those are slick. Trey Wessel. I must have missed the news, but
Nuclear
just
Wessel?
learned Jeff Smith Bone graphic novel is no longer going forward at Netflix. Smith says, never again. What a shame. It's my favorite comic. Have you read it?
Oh, I love Bone.
Bone's great.
Bone's great.
Yeah.
But I can understand that because here's the thing, when you're a creator and it's your comic and like Jeff Smith, you're a single creator making something, going into the world where you're trying to get a television show made and going through the levels of executives. There's few things in the world more frustrating because you don't have that control anymore. And everybody starts to tell you what you should do with your characters that you created. And I understand where he's probably coming from.
Yeah.
It's too bad we won't get it, but the problem is the first thing people want to do is change the very thing they've bought to adapt.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
Bone is iconic, and it's 55 issues
Yeah.
of a very specific type of storytelling, both in terms of narrative and aesthetic.
Yes.
And, Netflix hasn't done the best job of bringing things from different mediums to screen.
No, because then you have to, because look, the executives that you're dealing with, and I'm not saying that all executives are bad, but as a matter of fact, I recently met an executive who's one of the most impressive people I've ever met in the film business, and who really understands all this IP. But a lot of executives need to, they're going to tell you what you need to do to make them appease them, and it's a bummer. But then again, there's a lot of people that work in other mediums, and when they come to work in television and film, they don't really understand how it works, and it rubs them the wrong way. And it is a collaborative process. It's really hard to do a great adaptation.
Yeah,
It really is.
it's tricky. From Blake, we know we're getting the Fantastic Four, but will we get Franklin and Valeria? We know they exist in the multiverse because of Doctor Strange 2. Lots of good stories they could do with them.
Yeah, Franklin Richards too. You have to establish the Fantastic Four first.
Yeah, this is a little cart before the horse.
Yeah.
You gotta have their parents, probably. Probably? I guess you could just jump right on in, but...
And then are we going to get Power Pack? I don't know. I love Power Pack, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I think they're going to I am sure that we will one day see Franklin Richards.
Oh, absolutely.
And then of course the Kang variants and all the things that have to happen, but we got to get the Fantastic Four first.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
we got to
will.
make those kids first, okay?
Yeah, we got to make the kids.
Have to be conceived.
We have to cook those kids up.
All right. You got to be a twinkle in Reed's eye first.
Why did you?
That's how I do it. I don't know. All right. From Jonathan Schultz, I want to see the MCU proper Kang that we ultimately get tell the Avengers that he knew about what Thanos would do in their timeline and allowed it to happen because it was all part of his plan.
I hope so.
I feel like that's what's
look,
gonna
I don't
happen.
think we've even seen the last of Thanos, quite frankly. With Secret Wars coming and Kang Dynasty, who knows? How closely are they going to hew to the storyline? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. Because, we only saw one Thanos from one universe, our universe. There's other Thani.
Yeah.
So
Kinder, gentler Thanoses.
That's right.
Thanoses.
He had all of those Infinity Gems or stones in that drawer, remember?
Right.
Loki?
Yeah.
Just the random drawer.
From Daniel Vacara. From last week with you mentioning it, Rob, the Absolute Edition of DC, The New Frontier, is 42% off in 42% off in stock trades, which is a fantastic site. It's worth doing the $4 shipping upgrade with great packaging.
Wow. Look, 42% off. Well, I would say everybody should go buy that because it's a great oversized book. And even if you don't want it, buy it to give to somebody else because 42% off is great.
That's a good deal.
Really good deal. Go get it.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
From Daniel Vacara again. With you mentioning Avengers Disassembled, I'm still perplexed that a Young Avengers film wasn't announced, especially with Wanda's kids and Kang's use.
Look, we've been saying that. We've been talking about a Young Avengers movie or a Young Avengers series for a long time. And I think, they're teeing it up.
Yeah. Me, you, and Ray are very much on the same page that this is what we are going to get.
Yes.
Some people who hail from Canada think we're not going to get it.
No, I think they've been setting this up across the whole MCU, whether it's the shows or the movies.
Everyone's got babies now. Everyone's got kids.
Yes, and Kate Bishop formed the Young Avengers. Why not?
Exactly. It's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen.
We'll get there. They'll announce it at some point.
It's true.
From AM. Okay, just 2 casting ideas. Nick Cage is the question, and Chris Pratt as Booster Gold with James Gunn in Now It Could Actually Happen. Thoughts? I kind of love Nick Cage as the question.
I actually love both of those.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt could absolutely play Booster Gold. And, they were going to do a boost. Greg Berlanti, because a friend of mine was writing it, was going to do a Booster Gold movie.
Just a little
I used my
earthquake.
psychic powers to do that. So yeah, was going to do a Booster Gold movie. So I could definitely say that. I think we're going to see more of those kinds of things but I don't know. I don't know if they're not going to lead with Booster Gold.
No. I still really want, and I know the ship's kind of sailed here, but I still want that Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think that'd just be so fun. But yeah, Booster Gold, you gotta lean in with somebody who is willing to play a himbo, you know,
Right.
and just really kind of muck it up.
I completely agree
Yeah.
with that. And I think back to Booster Gold and Blue Beetle from the Justice League International run of the mid '80s. That comedic run, I love that run so much. I mean, I don't normally go for comedic iterations of things,
Yeah.
but that was something I adored.
So fun.
Right from the get. I love that comic. It's great. It's still funny as hell.
From Jonathan Schultz, favorite superhero costume from any character. One from Marvel and one from DC. Go!
Oh my God, that's so
That's a lot.
superhero costume. I can think about a supervillain costume. I love Brother Blood, the original iteration of Brother Blood that George Perez drew. But I'd have to say, I think probably in terms of like from DC, this is going to seem kind of nutty, but I really like the first iteration of Nightwing. Again, that George Perez drew. It's a little busy, hard to deal with, but this is one of my favorite comic book villain costumes ever. I love Brother Blood, which is why they got me to watch Titans this year. I don't know why. I love the red, the black, the purple, whatever, the white. I love that. It's fantastic. And I quite enjoy that comic. What about you?
I'm really digging that new Wanda look that we covered last week.
Oh, it's great.
I think it's really cool with her hair being part of the costume and everything. DC, oh man. I mean, I'm a sucker for a short Cal Batman. Do love that version.
Yeah.
I don't know. And all the different Mr. Freeze iterations, I really love.
And I have to say, I've always loved Captain Marvel, Shazam Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I've always loved Dr. Fate. Simple, clean. I mean, I really do like the Justice Society of America, Our Man. I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. But I mean, not look. I love Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, and they're all cool costumes. But there's lesser known characters that I like even more, just in terms of their costuming.
That's fair.
I love Kid Flash's yellow costume. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, back when Kid Flash became Flash, that was another thing when they both left the Titans. There's this great cover where Robin and Flash Wally West are walking away. In their gold costumes on the ground. It's great.
And Artemis and Arsenal always had very just like practical costumes.
Yep.
That I really appreciated. Of like, yeah, that is what you would wear if you needed tactical gear to go fight crime.
Yep. And to that too, I love classic Green Arrow. Oliver Queen. I used to love that Mego figure when I was a kid. I was so happy they made Oliver Queen. I loved it.
Good question. From Mod Awesome again. Over the holiday, one of the close comic book shops to my place got broken into, and over $300,000 of comics and figures trading cards got stolen. It was heartbreaking.
Oh man.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happen.
That's really terrible.
Oh man. Well, hopefully their insurance helped cover that, and hopefully everyone who works there feels safe, because break-ins can it's so violating.
It's so, especially because they're never organized. It's always a mess afterwards.
Yeah.
And you feel that not only were you ripped off, but you were totally violated. You look at all the hard work you put into a comic. And the thing about comic book stores is they're not owned by corporations.
No.
It's usually if somebody opened it because of they're passionate about the hobby, or that sucks. I hate hearing that.
Oh. Let us know the name of your shop so we can at least, talk them up here, and maybe other people can go see the shop and we can get some business going their way. Put it in the comments. Daniel Vaccara, House of M Omnibus comes out tomorrow. Great event.
Wow, I didn't know that. I've got individual. I have all, because I used to buy the hardcovers like in the aughts.
Yeah.
But they didn't come out with the omnibus format yet. I did not know that. I should order that right now.
Yeah.
I'll go to Cheap Graphic Novels and order it from them.
Ooh.
Or I should go into my local comic book store, but those omnibuses are like $120. Cheap Graphic Novels, you can get it for like
You can get them for cheap?
cheaper. Yeah. Well, maybe I should just go into my local comic book store and support them.
Do what you feel is right, Rob.
It's true, but I didn't know it.
Gosh.
Thank you for pointing that out, because damn, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. It's an omnibus I want. But that means I'll have a couple of hardcovers because there's multiple House of M. I can give those away.
Yeah. There you go.
What's your go-to typically, Kris, in, like with your neighborhood for comic shops?
Oh, I really like Emerald Nights in Burbank. I like House of Secrets
Yep.
as well. That's a great shop. I know this is a very sell-outy one, but the shop at Universal City Walk I go to all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
I love
shop.
that
Yeah, it's
shop.
good.
I go there all the time.
Why not?
It's fun.
Because I'll pick up, an omnibus, but then also I'll usually kind of get like a figure or something
Right.
on there too. They have really cool statues. Brad Jobson. After decades of reading comics, I'm reading my first manga in Berserk. Any recommendations for what to read next? I heard great things about One Piece. Come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams, Brad. Let's go. One
You'll
Piece.
be reading it forever.
Yeah, it's thousands of issues. I'm
I
such
like
a-
Berserk.
Berserk is fun.
Bloody fun.
Yeah. Attack on Titan is a really great read. I liked
Yep.
that more than the show personally. It's wildly different. I'm a big sucker for Sailor Moon, and I think those mangas are beautiful.
You know what I
They're
really loved?
gorgeous.
When Viz Comics was first putting out manga in the United States, there is a jet fighter comic called Area 88. I know, it's crazy. It's like Top Gun, but this character he's been recruited into like this foreign air force, like he's fighting for Kuwait or something, and he has to fight before he's allowed to go home back to Japan or whatever. And I love that comic. There it is,
Yeah.
Area 88. I don't even know if you could get that comic, but what I loved about it was the jets were all real jets. They were all it was very accurate.
Ooh, that's fun.
And I love it. And there's also an anime of it as well. But I used to love nice. So it was Eclipse. It wasn't Viz, huh? It's Eclipse. See, I was wrong. I thought it was Viz. Because back when that was in like the first wave of manga when they brought like Kamui and they brought 2001 Nights, which I really loved, and Crying Freeman. Crying Freeman was another, and also Lone Wolf and Cub.
Ooh,
I love
Lone Wolf and Cub is a fun one.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, and of course you can read One Punch Man, and that's ahead of
Yep.
what they're on the show. That's a fun one too.
I just dated myself with all my manga. They're like, you're such an old man.
I'm clearly just like, I like magical girls. Like that's what I like to read. I like sparkly, pretty princesses. So,
That's okay.
yeah,
That's what manga's for. You can buy manga about golf.
you can. It's ridiculous.
I know.
That's what I love about anime too. It's just like I'm gonna watch an anime about a swim team today.
And why not?
And why wouldn't you? Or Yuri on Ice? Okay. From Eric Hoff, if Ant-Man Quantumania turns out to be an Avenger level success, could y'all see Kang and any other characters that get reveal gain their own spin-off show?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think Kang, I think Jonathan Major is going to stick with being a movie star. He started in Loki, but now he's kind of been having a moment. He's got Creed 3 coming out. He's got Quantumania coming out. I think that Devotion was actually a good movie. I like Devotion. I finally caught up with it. I don't know
he'll
if
be
he'll do
in
a show.
Loki season 2.
What's that?
He'll be in Loki season 2.
Is he? I don't know. I would
It's got to
imagine
be
so.
about Kang. He's still he's still dealing with the time variant authority. So
Yeah.
I think so. From Gundam 11, bring on the filthy physical media collector here. Rob, do you have any suggestions for shelves?
It really depends what kind of. I mean, I buy these freestanding shelves. I forget who makes them. I get them from Amazon. I have 6 of them. But it really depends what kind of a room you have. And I've even used Billy bookcases from IKEA. The problem is that you can go too deep if you want, but there's a lot of free space with those. But it's hard to say. I have friends that build custom shelves for their physical media collections because Blu-rays are kind of short. They're not big like a hardcover book. So sometimes if you build your own shelves, you can make them smaller and take up less wall space. But I don't even know the names of the ones I've been buying. I like them a lot, though. I have them in the Robservatory.
Ooh. From Taki75, good news, Rob. If the rumors are to be believed, Captain 4 will address Tiamat's presence in the middle of the ocean and its geopolitical implications.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing about that. Maybe. I mean, that would be interesting, but I don't know how you hang a plot around that because the whole world would be involved. But it is called New World Order, after all. I like the idea more of Harrison Ford becoming president and turning out to be the villain.
Ooh.
Thaddeus Ross goes bad, breaks bad.
That'd be fun.
Or just
He's
to have
just a scroll.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read the scripts, Rob.
Well, that's Secret Invasion.
Oh, that's true. That's
But
true.
Thaddeus Ross isn't in there. But they could take that forward after Secret Invasion.
Ooh.
You never know.
Yeah. From Billy Lawrence, Rob, you've led me into an unhealthy obsession with hot toys, and I love it. Just got White Vision from WandaVision, ready for more.
That White Vision is a great figure. But listen, I take no responsibility for your profligate spending. I leave that up to you, your next of kin, your significant others. Whatever you do, just enjoy what you buy. Mm-hmm. But I take no responsibility. Don't blame me when the bank account's overdrawn.
Yeah, you're an adult. You live with your choices.
That's right.
From Jared Vester. Hey, guys, do you think The Question would work better as an HBO detective noir series?
Oh, I would love that.
That would be way more up my alley.
Yeah, I would love that. I think they could do a great job with that.
If it was just a gritty, gory, pulpy kind of show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm there for that. People are asking a lot about The Question lately. Do they know something we don't? Like, have they talked about doing a question series? I could see James Gunn spearheading something like that.
For sure. Let us know if you guys would like a deep dive on The Question too, because we've had at least 2 people be The Question. There's a lot of comic book lore.
There is a
history.
great DC Question omnibus that I saw in a shop called Quest that I didn't know was out from the 80s Question that I think Dennis Cowan drew.
Oh, fine.
Who knew Dwayne McDuffie?
From Mod Awesome, can you see Chris Pratt as Batman? Would it fit? Not initially. I suppose any actor could work hard to do any role, but that's not where my brain goes.
No. I mean, he could do, that's why I say he could do any version of Batman. I just can't see him as a dark, gritty Batman because he's always cracking wise.
Yeah.
Like you said, Booster Gold.
Maybe.
Why not?
From Miguel Ceja, Rob, I got a Joker Iron Studios figure. I was drunk and broke the arm when I dropped it. Do you know anyone in LA that fixes figures or a good glue? Gorilla Glue.
You know what? I use Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla Glue's awesome.
I was using it just yesterday. I like Gorilla Glue, but I'm really sorry you dropped that statue.
Yeah. Do you know anyone who fixes stuff?
Not like that.
No. Yeah, just glue it, baby.
Or you could like melt gold and be Japanese, like, when they put their...
Oh, yeah, the plates. Right?
Yeah.
Add it to the design. That's beautiful.
Cool. Yeah.
Mod Awesome. Name of the comic book shop is Victory Comics in Falls Church, Virginia. Okay, Victory Comics. I'm going to make a note of that right now. So if you all are in the Falls Church area of Virginia, make sure you go to Victory Comics. Give them some of your support. Go buy some issues. Buy a figure. Hang out. Figure out if they do group events. Yay. From Bright, sending in a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. My ex-girlfriend works in a trauma ICU. She's been taking care of Renner.
Wow.
Knows I'm a huge MCU fan, and she told me how kind he is, even though he's in so much pain. He seems like a great guy. Really was a horrible situation. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of our hopes go out to Jeremy Renner for a swift recovery. I can only imagine how, God.
Yeah. And doing something to help somebody else, too.
Yeah.
Golly. We wish him a very, very speedy recovery, and I'm so glad that he is just kind even when he's in all this pain. That's really,
and
really
shout
sweet
out to
hear.
Bright for having an ex-girlfriend that he's still in touch with.
Yeah.
Or they are still in touch with.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any assumptions.
From Keon Jenkins, how many trailers do you think there'll be during the Super Bowl? Oof, it's pricey.
It's very pricey, and there's a lot of movies coming out this year. And I think depending, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously there's 4 DC movies coming out this year. You're going to have, before the Super Bowl, I think Quantumania will have already been out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but then you've got Guardians of the Galaxy coming. You've got Marvel's coming. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year. So probably a few, I would imagine.
I would think so. I just also feel like now we drop so many things on YouTube.
Right.
That I feel like some of the buzz of the Super Bowl drop kind of is lost.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of the Super Bowl trailers, they drop before the Super Bowl anyway.
Exactly.
And they're spending that money. I mean, I most people watch trailers on, like, I just look at them online.
That's how I do it.
So, I mean, it's fun to watch them during this. The problem with trailers during the Super Bowl is some idiots are always talking. You go to Super Bowl parties, and then when the trailer you want to see comes on, I'm like, shut the hell up. And everyone's like, who are you to tell me to shut up? And I'm like, it's a trailer for Guardians 3. What's up?
Yeah.
And then someone gets mad at you.
Well, those people can just GTFO.
That's right.
Yeah. We're
That's
here for
right.
the commercials and Rihanna. and maybe some of the sports.
It's true.
From Stickle Jana, hey Rob, are you a fan of The Happiness of Katakuris?
That's a wacky film.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I own that movie. But I only own it on DVD. I don't have it. It's a good thing. That's one of these. I get around. My collection has various levels, but I like Happiness of Katakuris. It's you would like that movie.
Would I?
No, I think you would.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
It's.
I didn't know if this was another
No,
one.
no,
that
no,
was
no,
like,
no. It's not like Martyrs or
Okay.
something like that. No.
Yeah.
You could. I think you could watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it. From Nerd on Film, have you guys read the Batman 89 comic? It's rad.
I have not, and that's that the Michael Keaton is Batman,
Yeah.
and like the Batman and Superman, the Chris Reeve Superman, they exist. And people keep saying it's good.
We'll have to get that. That'd be a fun one to talk about.
That would be a good one, especially with Flash coming out.
Yeah, with Batman Flashpoint coming
That's
out.
we should do that.
Yeah.
Batman Flash.
With that movie.
Coming from Warner Brothers, the Batman,
Batman
Flashpoint
Flashpoint.
movie, starring Batman, Michael Keaton,
Featuring Flash.
who's going to move on to the great Batman Beyond movie.
Yes.
We hope.
It'd be amazing. Is that it, Jonathan?
That's all.
All right. Well, yay, we did it.
That was amazing. What a great issue 17, Kris. Wait a minute. Yeah, issue 17.
Issue
Even though I had my
17,
issue
you
18,
rocked
I had
it.
to stop and think and go, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all our hopes and dreams are pinned tonight on that Quantum Mania trailer. So
Yes.
tune in if you're a college football fan. If not, watch it on the internet after the game's over.
For sure. And come back to the comment section here and let us know if you enjoyed the trailer or if you were let down by it. We'd love to hear your thoughts about it.
Or anything we've talked about on this show. And support this. Like, subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Come back next week and join us for issue 18
Yes.
of The Weekly Hero.